So I've decided to put a glass window in the beehive. That way we can kind of watch what goes on. I think it'd be interesting. I wasn't going to do it, and I thought, well, why not take a few extra minutes and it'll really be enjoyable to watch. So just got a piece of old glass here for a picture frame, and I'm going to cut it about 4 inches. Seems to be about right. Just using a regular glass cutter. It's just a metal deal here, you can see, with a wheel. And before you cut using these, you always want to put a little bit of light mineral oil or some type of oil on there that'll help lubricate the cut. So using the table saw, I've ripped down some small strips here and mitered the corners into 45s and essentially just made a small picture frame here. And then what I did is I took on the table saw there and I just cut out a little bit of a groove there on the bottom, a channel the same thickness as the glass, you can see, and the glass will set flush in there. So what we're essentially doing here is just making a picture frame. So let's put this together and see how it fits. My glass cut wasn't very good. The glass cutter that I was using, I noticed, was a little bit rusty on the blade, and I think that it just doesn't have a very good edge on it. I did not have very good luck, so the glass is a little bit rough right there where I trimmed it, but it's okay. I'll hide all that behind this frame, and once it's installed you'll never see it. I'd recut it again, but I just don't have any more glass, so that looks good. So that glass is sitting flush in there, and this will be the back side that sits against the box. So let's glue this together and then measure and cut our hole in the side of our box. Glue on here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Not everyone has a pin nailer, but if you do have one, this little detail work, really, it is a very nice tool. Put a little more on there. Alright, we'll get our miters nice and tight here. You can put these together with just hand nails, and carpenters have done it for years, but this is really nice. If you're going to do a lot of trim around your house, or it's worth it to spend. They're not that expensive. You can buy them brand new for I think around $80 or so. So we want to line up the inside of these are cut pretty good, so it looks like they're pretty even. But if they're not quite even, you can kind of line up the inside, and this tops can always be sanded. So I decided to put the viewing window on the opposite side of the bee holes. My theory is it'd be nice to be able to come back here and look at them without disturbing them coming and going, and just be nicer for everyone. So I've got this centered. I got an inch, and I decided to put 1.5 inches off the bottom and then 9 inches per side. And so we'll carefully trace these lines here, and then we'll cut to the lines for the hole. Alright, so we got our little frame put together and our screw holes countersunk, only on one side this time. I'm going to use these really pretty solid brass finish screws. Some Phillips and Wranglerstar. I'll use the Phillips heads here. So now we're ready to put our glass in. Let's see. Nicely. Oh, it took a little, it takes an hour or so to do this, but it's going to be so worth it. It's really going to be enjoyable to watch this. So I pre-drilled this, so I already laid it out. I know exactly where it's supposed to go. And then we'll square this here. And I'll pre-drill all these. Just a little bit. We're pretty close to the edge, so I don't want to go to all this trouble and split out the wood. Those brass screws look nice, don't they? It's kind of a little feature. You want it to look nice because when you have kids over or friends and family and you want to share your beehive experience with them, everybody's going to be coming here and looking at this, so make it as nice as we can. Alright, let's finish it up. So that's the finished product. I'm really glad I did this. If you are thinking about building a hive, take an extra hour, 2 hours, and do this. It's just going to be so cool to watch this. And if you have kids, to share with them, they can look inside and see the bees working. And I'm glad I did it. It would have been a mistake not to. So I'd probably recommend you do it before you put it all together. It's just maybe a little bit easier. It wasn't too bad. Maybe not. It seemed to be okay. So that's it. The brass screws turned out great. I think it looks nice. All right. So I was going to do this in 2 parts, but the window, I guess, is going to take the place of part 2. And then the part 3 will do the legs and the top frames, or the top bars. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.